They say blood is thicker than water, but what happens when family ties are destroyed by money, greed, and murder? Today, Daily Mail TV is looking at cases where blood relatives are accused of killing their loved ones in the name of the almighty dollar. And joining us now to discuss these crime cases is crimeonline.com's Nancy Grace. Nancy, we're going to start with Heather Mack, who was 19 when she and her 21-year-old boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer, murdered Heather's 62-year-old mother, Sheila Von Weismack, in a Bali hotel room in 2014, and then infamously stuffed her body in a suitcase and then left it in a taxi. Authorities say the pair murdered Von Weis, hoping to cash in on a trust fund that was worth more than $1 million. So Nancy, where does this case stand right now?
Well, amazingly, this daughter who had cops called on her over 80 times when she would be attacking her mother, yelling at her mother, beating her mother, biting her mother in their upscale Chicago suburb. Well, the mother, against the advice of all of her friends, takes the daughter, Heather Mack, on a 5-star luxury vacation to try to mend their relationship. What she didn't know was that her daughter, Heather Mack, got on her credit card and flew her lover down to the same resort, the St. Regis Resort, and put him up in a luxury hotel room. The mom didn't know this. She explodes and the murder occurs. Well, just recently, Heather Mack goes on YouTube and posts 3 statements where she takes the blame for the murders, claiming her boyfriend was not involved. He was involved in just the cover-up, according to her.
Nancy, I want to ask you about that shocking YouTube confession that Heather made, where she basically admits she murdered her mother and framed her boyfriend so she wouldn't lose her inheritance. Listen to this.
I killed her myself. If my article that I was charged with was not that I'm the one who killed her, I'm still entitled to the money. So we told Tommy together, my lawyers and I, that if he didn't take the blame in the court, that he would get the death penalty.
Now, according to reports, Heather has retracted this confession. But Nancy, help us understand, can prosecutors still use this powerful admission to seek a harsher sentence?
Hold on. Hold your horses, Jesse. Did you hear that? Her mother is dead. Bludgeoned dead. Have you seen that suitcase? According to their statements, the boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer, beats the mom with a metal bowl until she's dead and then sticks her in a suitcase, and Heather Mack gleefully sits on the suitcase so he can zip it shut. And now she's talking about, I deserve the money? What, are you kidding me? Back to your question, prosecutors claim they are going to seek stricter sentencing, but wait a minute, she's already recanted that. She can't keep her story straight. Plus, there's a lot more evidence than just their admissions. There are dozens and dozens of text messages between her, Heather Mack, and her boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer, still in the U.S., planning the murder. So it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. She's in it up to her eyeballs. She's not going to get any more lenient treatment. It's sticking. It's going to stay just the way it is.
Okay, Nancy, let's talk now about 23-year-old person of interest, Nathan Carman. He's being accused by his aunts of murdering his millionaire grandfather in 2013, and they also believe he killed his mother while on a fishing trip in 2016, all to get his hands on a $7 million inheritance. Nancy, why haven't police been able to make arrests in this case?
Well, it's very odd. When Nathan Carman is around, people drop dead. First of all, it was his grandfather several years ago. He and his grandfather very close to each other. His grandfather found shot dead 3 times in the face, neck, and head in his own bed. Nathan Carman, the last one to see him alive the night before. Then, fast forward, he goes out fishing with his mother at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. A week goes by. He's found alive on a red life raft. Her body and the boat never found. So he refuses to cooperate with police. He won't take a polygraph. They can't find the body. They can't find the life raft. So they don't have a lot to go on other than just circumstances. Circumstances, suspicious as they may be, does not a murder conviction make.
Okay, of course, Nathan claims he's innocent, but what do we know about the lawsuit that Nathan's aunts filed in civil court?
Oh, yes. That's very interesting. And again, he has not been arrested. As of now, he's innocent until proven guilty. Now, about that lawsuit that the aunts filed, this is his mother's family. It's called a slayer lawsuit, and it's a civil case, not criminal. And what it does is disallow someone that could be the killer in the case from inheriting the money. So they're trying to keep him from getting the money. No criminal action as of yet on either the grandfather or the mother.
And you can catch Nancy on A&E's new show, Grace vs. Abrams, on Thursdays at 11 p.m. As always, Nancy, thank you for being with us and bringing us the latest on these cases.